Hello and welcome to Climate Fact File, your go-to program for clear insights and actionable solutions on climate change and its impact on our world. I am Ife Onyekwere. I'll be your host and guide, to guide us through this journey of understanding the challenges we face and the opportunities we have to create a sustainable future. So together we'll be doing this. Like I always say, there is always an opportunity every time we look at climate change.
From 11 a.m. on the People's 105.5 FM, Abuja.
When I saw you, I just knew that this person is so nature conscious. You know them when you see them.
Exactly.
What actually brought you into that point where you are so nature conscious?
Well, I think mine is, will I say, ancestry? Yes,
really?
There's an ancestry attachment to it, but at the same
Wow.
time, my ability to, apply observation much more than classroom experiences.
Wow.
I'm someone that couldn't follow in this, in that regimented way of learning, because if you're in nature, attuned with nature, regimented learning is not your thing, because nature is spontaneous.
That's
nature
right.
has a whole lot it's saying from the conventional education. So, and this actually has been revealed in both my lifestyle. Everyone knows that, so you're not wrong. My feeding, my expression, my communication with people, and my environment. So I understood nature at a deeper level, not just as a climate.
Wow.
I understand nature as me. So, and if I'm nature, it means you too are nature.
That's
it's just
right.
that probably you've not come to that level of
Seriously.
awareness. Yes, exactly.
Wow. This is a whole. I think today is really beyond what I expected. But let's keep going. Now, so as a naturalist, how do you see the relationship between nature and well-being, especially in the face of the issues surrounding climate change as we are seeing today?
Okay, when we say naturalist, people think it's all about just food, being a vegetarian and all that. I see an intrinsic and undeniable link between nature and human well-being. It's undeniable. It's just that as nature is aware of you, but you're the one who is not aware of nature. So you see, ignorance is not an exemption and it's not an exclusion. It's not denial of what is. So that intrinsic connection is what makes us human enough and not machines and not robotic. When we lose that connection, that becomes even more critical in the face of climate change. When we lose it, we are actually the worst affected. You understand? So when you see, I used to tell people, when you see tornadoes, all those English names that we give them, climate issues, volcano, or you see landslide, whatever you like, give it the name you want to give. Your own is the same thing. Nature is seeking balance for every wound you've given it. That's it. So if we understand nature as something living, you would be careful the way you treat your fellow human being. You understand that it's an emotional climate. That's what I used to tell people. We live in an emotional climate. We're just not aware of that emotion, so we do anyhow. Someone just throws something on the road. You see, very beautiful car, very beautiful, luxurious, bougie, and then they're throwing out something on the road. Like, I'm like, what? How people this? My heart usually wants to jump out to go and stop that ride and say, come on,
Why did you do this?
Why are you hurting? It's that serious for me. And this has been like that since I was on campus. So that understanding of connectivity made me, in fact, I used to have a dustbin in my handbag. Yes.
Wow.
I had to have a pack where I can put all my trashes, because in Nigeria, you can go some miles and you will not see anywhere to trash your stuff. So my girlfriends used to be the one that will come, I don't want to search your handbag because there's always dustbin inside it. Or sometimes they will lick sweets and they want to throw the pack, outside. Now, like, no, give it to me. and I'll put it in my dustbin. So that's actually education. I was educating my peers at that time, unconsciously, covertly. But that connection, if we are not conscious, it calls for consciousness. You understand? Mm-hmm. So being a naturalist, I see deep connection to the survival of human race, of Nigerians, of Africans. It is tied to nature. Beyond the clean air, beyond the clean water, fertile soil for our food production and a stable climate, where you have your tourism and your relaxation. Beyond all that, remember that it's an emotional climate. So you now know that it's a win-win. Mm-hmm. So as I'm protecting you, I'm gaining from you.
Exactly.
You see, it's because we've not known that it's a win-win. That's the problem. So we need more awareness and not to just make it another chore, another, routine. It must not be called routine. It must be something affectionate, something very into emotions. We have emotions and we don't want people hurting us. That's it. So
the same with nature.
We need to understand nature to that depth.
I love when you actually said nature is seeking balance. We are really conscious of things that happen around us, and nature on its own part too is conscious about things that happen around it. And it's unfortunate how we can pay attention to so many things around us, but when it comes to this issue of our environment or this issue of the climate, we actually feel like, it's not human based, it is something else that is actually triggering it. Meanwhile, we're
living in denial.
Do you understand?
So really, it's a height of ignorance, actually.
All right. If you're listening, this is Climate Fact File on People's 105.5 FM Abuja, and of course, you can actually join the contribution. What does nature mean to you? Yes, let's ask you, what does nature mean to you? You can actually join the conversation by calling in the number 0911 112 1055. The number is 0911 112 1055, and you can also call us on 0704 800 1055. What does nature means to you? And of course, your answer might be in the positive or negative, or probably you're learning from the conversation. That's okay, but let's know what nature means to you, because like we've been having this conversation now for some minutes, you can actually see that there is a consciousness, there's a level of consciousness that needs to actually be put into our environment or even our daily lives to be able to, have this balance. The more, the way you're actually seeking balance for your life is the way the environment, is the way the nature is also seeking balance. But let's hear from you. What does nature mean to you? The number is 0911 112 1055, and you can also call us on 0704 800 1055.
The People's 105.5 FM brings to you the Development Report. Development Report dissects current development issues, sustainable development goals, climate change, women and health, water environment, human progress, and societal well-being with experts from different fields. Development Report showcases impactful projects and initiatives aimed at fostering positive change. Development Report comes to you on the People's 105.5 FM Abuja every Saturday from 12:15 p.m. to 1 p.m. You can also join the program via telephone 0911 222 1055 or send us a WhatsApp message on 0911 112 1055. Development Report towards collective action in support of sustainable development. People's 105.5 FM. It's all about you.
Your guide to the science, stories, and solutions of climate change. Join Climate Fact File and be part of the change every Wednesday from 11 a.m. on the People's 105.5 FM, Abuja.
You're still listening to People's 105.5 FM Abuja, and this is Climate Fact File. We are discussing nature and climate solutions. And of course, we have an amazing guest who is a naturalist, and she's all in for us today. Gang, today is today. And we've been having these conversations about nature, yeah? But, before we actually go to women and, our local communities, I want us to look at the disconnect between modern Nigerians and nature, right? Because sometimes when we talk about nature, people attribute these things to, in the old days, these were the options they had, and so why should we want to leave all these very flashy things and, embrace nature or do the things that looks as though they are local? I've had a guest come to my show who actually makes, uses plastic waste to actually make very beautiful earrings and all that. So, and she says every time she goes about picking bottles, people look at her as though she's, mentally not okay and stuff as that. But then let's talk about this. We really need to straighten this. Do you believe there's a cultural disconnect between modern Nigerians and nature, and how does that impact our response to climate issues?
Oh, I would. It's the sad story, actually, that comes with modernization, with globalization. A lot of disconnect happens when there are shifts in civilization, or what defines civilization, or who is defining civilization for us. So you see, if we tackle it from that angle, you will not necessarily blame Nigerians. You will not necessarily blame Africans. We would rather be looking at the triggers, who are the people informing the media, the sources of the information that is given to us. So if we're looking at that disconnect, it's there, and guess what? It is deepening. It is deepened by the growing technology, the attention we're giving to artificial intelligence. It's a huge disconnect, actually. So looking at that disconnect, the thing is, as our cultures have evolved, my concern, or our concern, should be, where is it evolving to? Is it evolving as us?
That's right.
Or is it evolving out of us? We don't have that culture or the attitude that the Asians, especially Chinese, have towards their culture. They have withheld and protected and guarded their culture because they know their culture leads them back to nature. And nature is a source. I always tell people, is the source, is the zenith of all civilization. In fact, it's the what's it called? How we used to define the finisher, the author and finisher of all civilization. Yes, that's what nature is. So if our culture has to evolve, it's either it's evolving as us.
That's right.
Right? Or it's not evolving at all. You understand? Instead of evolving out of us, off our lane, evolving anti-us, it's better it didn't evolve at all. That's it.
Wow.
Because the errors involved and the challenges, the hazards we're going to, face, it's better we didn't even evolve at all. It's better we stayed how we used to stay. If they said we used to be naked, which I know that it's not true, those are narratives that make you deviate more and more and more from who you are, from origin, from your heritage. So if we get down to understanding that nature is who we are, that disconnect that our young people or Nigerians are having, that stigma or, the stereotype they give to people who even understand that, you don't have to have interlocking in your compound all over the place. You should have some natural spaces where you have sand, where you still have a connection to nature. People look at you like, this one is still in the village. If you're not living in a high rising yet, then you are poor. You see, these things, I understand the person that is picking bottles on the road and all that.
Yes.
So it's in stages, it's in phases. You see it in different facets of life. Okay, if someone like me who has been eating healthy since I was much younger, and when I got to know all this, in my family they used to yab me. I was the only one who was conscious of nature. So they used to call me native doctor. I beg, come to the kitchen and come and collect your food. So but now my siblings are getting the mix, and they are coming back to me and asking me questions. I say, hey, you remember the days they used to yab me? I'm telling you, it's only my dad who even didn't yab me, but every other person was yabbing me. They called me different sorts of names. I can say it in my language.
Okay.
They say, they used to call me, meaning that I have a connection to roots and leaves and natural things. So I am so driven when people mention nature anywhere. In fact, they used to add it as my surname. So that disconnect, I wish and always advocate in every circle that young people should understand that nature is civilization. That nature does not mean a cake.
That's right.
See, that's media narrative. That being natural or being connected to nature does not mean that you are backward. These are...
the funniest part?
Yes, dear.
I believe now, like you said, some people are beginning to see what you're advocating for. Have you also noticed that even right about now, people are beginning to introduce some of these things we call in quote old things and beginning to refine it?
Yes.
The one that actually, should I use the word, made me like shout like wow. Clay pots is becoming a big thing right now.
Yes.
People are beginning to talk about the advantages of using clay pots
for water, for aesthetics and all that. It's beyond. I don't know how to explain it, but the ancients is still civilization. We need to understand that. So that, however, as we are embracing rapid urbanization,
that's right,
as we are embracing industrialization and the pursuit of Western consumerist lifestyle, you want to be amongst them. You need to be conscious of your interaction to know that at the very base of every single thing you're trying to embrace is nature. And that brings us back to energy, what nature actually represents. So if an energy is not what's it called, in its real raw form, if you've depleted it, be sure that it is still serving you in a depleted state.
Wow.
That's it.
Amazing. You're listening to People's 105.5 FM, and this is Climate Fact File. I'm opening the phone lines right about now. You can call in. The number is 0911-112-1055. What does nature mean to you? What does nature mean to you? I'm opening the phone lines. The number is 0911-112-1055. And you can also call us on 0704-800-1055. We're discussing nature and climate solutions. And of course, I believe one way or the other, we have something to, talk about nature, because it's us. We are, it's everything about us. And we are also conscious of, our environment here in the studio. And of course, that is the same mindset we're trying to push to everyone listening to us. The number is 0911-112-1055. What does nature mean to you? Amazing. So let's talk about women and, local communities. In what ways do you think women and local communities can lead or benefit from nature-based solutions to climate change? Because I have this, strong feeling that when women, not because I'm a female actually,
yes.
but when women begin to speak out about certain things, it has a tendency to actually go far than if we just make it let everyone just talk about. But there's this thing about women leading the advocacy, right? So in what ways can women and local communities lead or benefit from nature-based solutions to climate challenges?
Yes, like you said, it's not necessarily because I'm a woman. If we have not called it Mother Nature, I wonder who else without taking that pronoun. The thing about understanding nature and women and their role is it begins with understanding that nature is a whole lot about the womb. It's a similitude or an analogy of the womb. So if that is who nature is, then women have a long way to go deep in to understanding that the womb that they carry and how they carry babies is simply a picture of an analogy of how nature carries things and how they too carry visions, carry and understand at an intimate level, not knowledge based. It's not head knowledge. It's not classroom education. It is intuitive knowledge. That's power that women have about on their womb. That they can even speak to their children ahead of time. That their water is a message to their children. That's why today in science it's been found also. I digress a bit. That the traumas that women bear are transferred to their babies because the baby is in the water, and the water. What water represents is recording, is a data, is a record keeper. Water remembers everything. You see why I said we must understand that nature is our civilization. The water that we negate or neglect or treat anyhow or handle in wrong ways, polluting, we are only polluting data. It's not just water we're polluting. We are polluting data. We are fragmenting data. We are breaking lineages. We are breaking heritage. When we don't understand this, we miss out a lot. And this is a role where I think women come on board. They have a whole lot in community development. Actually, in the past, it's women who build communities. It's women, yes, it's women who that's why we have, they ask you in your banking, in the banking system, they say, what is your mother's name? No, your mother's name. That's what they ask for. They don't ask for your father's name. Yeah. So and
maiden name. Yes.
Your maiden name. Yeah. Thank you. So understanding the position of women is not just about what they can even give, but because they are also the first or strongest beneficiaries of the negative impacts of a disrupted climate. They are the ones who are handling household resource management, agriculture. They are the ones local women, the unsung heroes as we call them. They're the ones exposed to climate, making them powerful agents of change. If we don't harness that, we would miss out on, the group of people that can lead in reforestation efforts, in sustainable agriculture, in water management, and the protection of biodiversity. In return, they even benefit so much through because improving food security. It's usually women we look at, in enhancing livelihoods from sustainable resources, example, ecotourism, it's women we look at. We even look at them from when you're looking at what is it called? How the men have their rest. In the past, they say men go to hunting, but when they return, where are they returning to? They are returning to an environment that is nature, what is it called? Nature aired. It's not air conditioned. No, it's nature conditioned, Yeah. And nature conditioned spaces is have a lot to do with your connection to nature. And if we even understand this, we will not be downplaying the position of women, especially in decision making. In policy decision making, you include them. That's why I said in the beginning that blue economy or ocean intelligence is not something we should see only at the economy level. It's not just a cash cow. Men usually see these things as cash cow. That's the first attack. Because I heard the government is releasing billions, right? Somebody will go there now and pack all the money and not invent, implement. You see what I said? It's beyond being a cash cow. Yeah. So if you don't have women at the forefront who know that their womb will be affected, it's an emotional climate. This is annoying. I'm telling you. Yeah. A woman should be the one leading such things. It's not about gender equality or anything. No. Yeah. It is that if someone has the capacity, the innate ability to handle external issues, societal concerns, give it to them, whether they are men or women.
That's right.
And even if it's a man who have understood it at a depth, give it to him. But you see, we think everything is gender narrative. No. So it actually boils down to let you know that the issues of climate or climate solutions we face is also facing gender issue.
Honestly, true. Very
because
true.
women participation is not recognized as it should, So climate narrative is facing gender narrative.
It's just a whole lot,
It's a lot.
Great. Thank you for that contribution. So right about now, we need to go on a music break. And of course, because we're discussing green, we need to go for a green land. So we'll be right back after this break.
It's green, oh, the land is green, it's green, can't you see? I can see all the harvest is ready, 'cause he told me so. It's green and it's all mine. As the clouds go gray, the thunder roars and the earth sings. The season's just beginning. Sunlight it hides as the clouds make way for the pouring of my blessings. I will not be afraid. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance in the rain. It's for my seed to grow. For every prayer and every seed I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping back 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. It's green for me. Standing alone can be a heavy load, but my vows I won't be breaking. Though my heart is aching, I got a word and I won't let go. It's your will I'm seeking, so I keep on believing. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance. Once again, it's time for me to grow. For every prayer and every tear I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping joy 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. I thought it was over, thought you were done with me, but we're just beginning. Whoa, my life is a journey. I will walk with you, I will go where you want me to. Yes, I will go. Come on. Told me that the land is green. Hey, yeah. It's green, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The land is green, it's green, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The land is green, it's green, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? I can see all the harvest is ready, 'cause he told me so. It's green and it's all mine.
You're still listening to People's 105.5 FM Abuja, and this is Climate Fact File. We are discussing nature and climate solutions. And of course, we have a naturalist in the studio who has been doing justice to the topic before us. I want us to look at the area of your work. You know, you've worked with youth, women. You know, how can we reconnect them, you know, in a way that inspires leadership and responsibility for the environment? You've talked about, you know, how women being involved can really cause a tremendous change. But how can we now get to the point where we actually reconnect them in a way that inspires leadership and responsibility for the environment?
Okay, that comes to knowledge. You cannot act beyond your knowledge base.
That's
you
great.
cannot act beyond the data you have, the information you have. And one of the challenges we have already in Nigeria, I don't want to say Africa because some other places they're already improving in their data, is that we have learned somehow. I'll give us some level of percentage, 50%. You know, learning how to collate data and all that.
Yeah.
Yes, the West have taught us that. But we have not learned the use of data. That's it. So it's the use of data that comes out as programs. The use of data is what informs implementation policies. It's the use of data that make us tomorrow, we wake up and we will change our education system. The use of data is what will make us say, oh no, we're saying no to these clauses. These products or these practices cannot enter Nigeria spaces, you know, like this our South Korean man, North Korean man. He said, their air is blocked, so you can't just penetrate and get them any kind of information. No. So we need to come to that level of using data to inform decisions. So, and that boils down to is a multifaceted approach because it will inspire leadership and responsibility across, not just on the women but youth. And it would dovetail, of course, it should actually start from cradle. It's not something you wait for someone to grow up before they understand. If nature is me, I should know that as an identity as I'm growing up. So practical ways for the youth is, getting them hands-on experiences. You understand? Yeah. Experiential learning. That's the key. So it's not just to sit down. I keep advocating that we should not settle for classroom education as the major. Major education should be the first and the handy, and in fact, it should be the conventional. It should be the other way around. While classroom education should be the alternative. The West have understood this, and that's why they come back to our health. Do you notice that the natural products, natural healthcare is no longer called alternative education?
That's
they
true.
now call it integrated education. In fact, they're even going to it. They are leaving the big pharma industries. You understand? And yet, our people, once something happens to them, they are rushing back to the same thing that they have left, instead of going back to their natural. I know the discrepancies. I know the challenges involved in that. Let's leave that out. Is a policy issue in the medical sector. Is a drag between the professions. So, but we cannot exclude that hands-on aspect as for a young person. These include school-based environmental education, you see, nature's education, nature camps. Can we have community gardening projects? Can we have citizen science initiatives? We're hailing Big Brother. But each time I look at that program, I'm not even after the moral angle. I'm looking at how nature-centered is it. What are they eating? Each time they zoom the camera on what they're eating, that's where my mind is going to. And then I'm looking at the practices. How many things are nature products, nature manufactured? Are they plastics? Yeah. You see a lot of color things all over the place, plastics all over. I'm not wondering, are these people not even understanding that shows, when you run media shows or reality shows, those are it's a template, or do I say avenues to convey messages, lifestyle. Exactly. Yeah. Lifestyle, informed lifestyle. It's not just for fun. You understand? So it makes me ponder more at the kind of shows we put out there. If you check what Hollywood does. They are so subliminal in passing their messages. That's why today we want to embrace their culture. We want to embrace everything they are doing, because the things that they have sent out over years in their reality shows is things that concern them. They were sending it out to us, and we've bought it.
Yeah.
We bought into it. So who is buying ours? That's the question I'm leaving to every young person. Who is buying what you are selling?
Even down to our music,
Exactly.
beautiful music we just played.
Thank you.
Even who's talking about nature?
Have they used this music in Big Brother shows?
Who is talking about? Honestly, we need to redefine.
Have you seen them? It's a reimagining
civilization.
Thank you. The West is not the author and finisher of civilization. They are not a dictator or definition of civilization. Africa must come to that level. They must come to that awareness to know that you don't define things for me. You understand? Those are clauses. Say, no, you don't cross here. So that we can actually bring in our meaning, because if we lack that space to speak and understand identity, that singular gap, it takes away authenticity from us, and our authenticity is our power of contribution. I always say that. So if you lack authenticity, the word authenticity, it means definition. That's of right. self. So if you cannot take definition from who you are, right, you will be looking for ways to contribute. In fact, your place will be taken away from you. Because if you're a cop, like I always say in some of the shows I've attended, I say, if I'm a cop, what I will do is to stay on your table, right? And guess what? I will always be accessible to your hands, not your feet. So you can't kick me around because I'm a cop. But if I lack authenticity, I will be keeping myself on the ground, and anybody can kick me around. Yes. But as a cop, on your table, I have access to your lips. Come on. You understand? So it's Africa's authenticity that is their power of contribution, that power of inclusion. You don't have to drag. You don't drag to be included. That's no, right. They include you because they see your space, your relevance.
That's right.
You don't understand? Yeah. So if we don't get it down to our education for a young person, they will be feeling inferior. Yes, with their food, their lifestyle, their clothing. I thank God for the fashion trends now. They are shifting to African trends. Right. And I also thank Nollywood for what they're doing. I thank the likes of Davido, not even Davido, what's his name? This ones that sing on African... Yemi Alade, thank you very much. I love her because she's so proud. Like she's someone that I love how she demonstrates the African
culture,
the scenario, the pictures you see there. It makes you like, yes, this is our own, So the music industry is taking spaces, yes, but that's economy wise. But I want to see identity in the music. I want to see identity in the scenes you're portraying, the side, hustle. We want to see Africa everywhere, even if Africa is looking the other way, the way the West portray us.
It's the way, exactly. It's the way it's been portrayed.
Exactly. The Nigeria that they are portraying on BBC and all that, it's not the Nigeria of today. They will leave all the tush areas and go to the slum. The slum that we are also working on to improve. They will go to that one. So who is going to their own slum? Question left for our young people.
Honestly.
Yes. So the education, yes, we know that traveling is education, but when you travel, what are you bringing in? Are you leaving yours out and then bringing in only what you collected out? Are you integrating? So our young people need to be taught integration, right? It means that, okay, there are clauses. Okay, if this your culture, other cultures is going to help me achieve this within my culture, fine, I can pick it up. You understand? I used to tell people that what we're meant to do with other people's culture is use and throw away. Use and throw away. You know what we do to all these disposable cups?
Yeah.
Thank you. You don't use it and make it your original. You have missed yourself. You will lose yourself, authenticity.
Thank you so much. So before we actually round off the show, I would want you to leave our listeners with one simple action that they can actually take to protect nature and fight the whole disaster around climate change. I wanted to leave them with an action point that when they would remember that, I listened to this show and this is the action I need to take around nature. What's what's that thing you need to tell the listeners?
Well, I want to believe that the listeners were touched by this program, and once
I'm touched also.
I want to remind them to always know that whenever they are feeling hot, it must be a reminder, a trigger for them to know that the climate is also hurt. Let them see climate as a mirror of themselves. When you look at yourself on the mirror and you're seeing all the powder you didn't rub well and you're trying to make it look good because you want to feel good, that's the same thing. Remember that person you're seeing in the mirror is the climate, is nature, is the environment. So you want to do your hair so good. When it's looking old, you go and dust it back, and that's the same way. So the catchphrase I always tell people, young people, is to know that we made a deal with nature.
That's right.
We made a deal with nature, and that's what my business actually stands for. CADA Resources. CADA is saying we made a deal with nature.
Wow.
So the deal is beyond economy, is beyond cash flow. Even if there's no cash flow, we will still keep the deal. Wow. That's it.
Thank you very much. This is actually a very interesting conversation. And I believe we're not ending here. You're coming back. You definitely have to come back.
I really wish your listeners called in.
This conversation would actually, it's so much. When people talk about climate change, a lot of people are still trying to adapt to. What are we talking about? A lot of people are still wondering, there's just so much, around it. But definitely, we really need to continue this conversation some other time. Thank you so much for listening. And thanks to the executive producer of this show, Charles Kalu. Thank you so much for my amazing, beautiful guest who is a naturalist for this show. Of course, we're going to have her some other time. Thank you so much. And remember, every action we take today leads to big changes tomorrow. So let's take what we've learned and apply it to our daily lives. Join us next time for Climate Fact File here on People's 105.5 FM Abuja. And I am Ife Onyekwere. Until next time, bye.